All right, so when it comes to retirement planning, some things are straightforward. You work, you save, and then you retire. But when you start thinking about record inflation, market uncertainty, not to mention the fact that we're living longer and we need our money to last longer, things start to feel a little more complicated. And that's why our next guest is sharing steps that everyone can take, no matter their age, to start building a solid retirement plan. Joining us live this morning is Caleb Silver, Editor-in-Chief of Investopedia. Caleb, good morning. Welcome to New York Living. This is important stuff because that age is creeping up on me, and I'm all ears for this type of information. So you say the first thing everybody should do is take inventory of their financial scenario. I have a difficult time taking inventory of my sock drawer. So what does that mean?
That means know what it costs to be you, in basic terms. And when we think about retirement, it's what does it cost to be the you want to be over time. But this is about taking inventory. The end of year is a great time to do it. We're talking about a list of assets, including your retirement accounts, your other investment and savings accounts, your real estate, any savings you have for kids' college, also your debts. You got to know both sides of the balance sheet here. Do you have credit card debt? Do you have mortgage debt, student loan debt? Know where you stand. Calculate your credit utilization ratio. How much credit do you have? How much are you actually using on your credit cards? And also know your credit report and your credit score. These are the foundational aspects you need to take those next steps. And then you want to get into this phase where you're really living by a budget and creating that budget and sticking to it.
Is there a time frame once you start looking at that? I know when I first went to an advisor, finally, that was one of the things that I found most difficult. Well, how much money are you going to need to live beyond 70, Chris, every year? How do you really calculate that? Do you have to sort of take internal inventory?
Yeah, you totally do. But it's, again, what does it cost to be the you want to be? What's that lifestyle? Are you funding kids in college? Are you taking care of parents? What are your needs and what do you want to be able to do in retirement when you're not earning an income? Generally, there's that 4% rule, that 4% drawdown every year from your retirement accounts or what you have in savings. That might not be enough these days, so you got to figure that out given inflation. So you have to have that set up, but you also need to know, do you have your insurance products set up? Are you set up and your family set up for you to retire and then for the next steps? And also, you got to have that 50, 30, 20 budget still as you go heading into those retirement years. 50 for the needs, 30 if you can to pay some of those bills, and 20 to invest and save over time. You could start that at 65 years old. You could start that at 25 years old. That's a really important rule of thumb.
Now, what about engaging the risk? Because there's always risk in some types of investments. Is this where we should pull in some people in the know better than us, perhaps some advisors?
Yeah, you should. And if you can have a financial advisor or a financial planner, that's great. But you can also do it on your own these days. Technology's made it a lot easier, but you have to be ready to invest and take those steps. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a Roth IRA, a SEP, a 401k, but also making those contributions automatic, and then as you get older, adjusting your risk tolerance. Younger people are going to want to be a little bit more aggressive with their stocks. They can recover. As we get older, we want to be a little bit more conservative and make sure we have that money in the bank. That savings is really important to us.
Right, you always need that cushion. So you've built the foundation, you're in your investments. What other types of things should we consider beyond that?
Yeah, you got to be thinking about knowing how much time you have to invest, your time in the market. Again, that drawdown, is 4% going to be enough? Do you need a side income when you stop earning that regular income if you have a regular job? And also, do you have that insurance? Do you have a long-term planning set up for you and your family? Are you taking making the most out of your tax advantage accounts, or is all your money in taxable accounts? All these questions become very important. It starts with that first question. What's my inventory? What do I have? What do I need? And what am I going to need in the future? And that really requires a plan.
You're right. I was going to say, you really have to be focused and disciplined in this. And, you know, in your mind, what's a good age to start thinking about and or even putting this plan into motion?
Yeah, in terms of retirement, you want to start thinking about that as soon as you get your first professional jobs and you're starting to get a 401k, or maybe you're getting that match, because you're going to be at that point where it's like you want to save some money, you need money to live, but investing a little bit over time, you know what that does? That creates that magic fairy dust around investing, which we call compounding. So that's time in the market. We always say time in the market better than timing the market. The best day to start investing was yesterday. Next best day is today. But certainly as you get into that life stage planning and you have kids, you want to think about retirement. You're going to think about what they need and what you're going to need when you stop working.
Sounds like you know what you're talking about. So let's get to Investopedia, by the way, which they just put out there a new retirement guide, right?
Yeah, First Magazine. We're a website. We've been around for 23 years. This is our first ever
Awesome.
magazine on
Congratulations.
newsstands now.
Look
We're
at
very
that.
excited about it. But what this is like one of those cookbooks. You come back to it over and over again, many steps depending on where you are in your life stages, and also really important terminology. A lot of people get inundated and they get worried about these financial words. This is a really good guide to help you get started and stick with the plan.
Love it. Absolutely. I think everybody needs that because it seems very overwhelming when you first start out with something like this.
Sure.
Caleb, thanks so much for your time. We may have you back again. I have more questions that are spinning around in my head as we speak, but stay with me.